What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Cerydra and why do I think she is mid, unless you are running her with the one, maybe two characters that actually make her shine really, really well. We're also going to get into a little bit of calculations between her and Feixiao and how she may improve that Feixiao core team. But before we begin, if you are one of those players that are going to be summoning for Hysolence or Cerydra, or you haven't even picked up your copy of Saber yet, I have something that may help you with that. Lootbar.gg, the trusted top-up site in which you can get premium currency for your favorite Hoyo games like Honkai Star Wars, Zone Zero, and Genshin Impact at a discounted price. After you select the game, you're going to enter your UID in your server. Make sure this information is 100% correct. And after you select the product you want to purchase and click the top up now button, you follow the prompts to the purchase. And after you're done, you're going to get the currency directly to your game in a matter of a minute or so. Lootbar also has over 20,000 reviews on Trustpilot with a 5-star rating, so you know it's trusted. It's very safe, very fast, very easy. So make sure to save some money. Check out lootbar.gg. Link in the description below. All right, we're back on the spreadsheet. Shout out to the GOAT LP. And we are running the traditional Feixiao team with Sunday, his light cone, Robin, his light cone, and Gallagher. We're not going to do Hua Hua because it's easier to calc Gallagher because he just brings nothing here. So it's kind of simple. But every single buff that we have from Sunday, the light cone, Robin, the light cone, and his own personal light cone are all added in these 3 separate boxes over here. And adding these with the relic set as well. And then the added cumulative stats in battle are over here. We are overcapping a little bit on crit rate, but it's better to have more than not enough. In this particular test, we are running crit damage, attack, attack, attack for the main stats for the relics. So there is that. We're not going to do any -1 speed setup with Sunday, nothing like that, just to keep it very simple. This is only going to be calculating Feixiao's damage window during his ultimate. And traditionally, if we go down here, one ultimate rotation consists of, on average, 4 basic attacks and 3 meteors. Usually you start off with 1 meteor, you basic, 1 meteor, basic, 1 meteor, and then you proceed with the ultimate explosion, and that'll be it. Now, if we go over here to our total, this rotation typically on the average will calculate to about 4.4 million damage on that ult rotation, which is really, really good damage if I do say so myself. Now, does Cerydra improve this or make it worse? Okay, if we replace Robin for Cerydra, for example, we are going to be swapping the attack, the crit damage, and the damage bonus for 10% rest pen, 72 crit damage, and 800 flat attack. And if you are using her own light cone, which I don't have the picture here for, you are also going to be getting 54% skill damage. But since we are using S1 for Robin, we are also going to do S1 for Cerydra. Now, the damage window for Feixiao's ultimate changes pretty dramatically when you have Cerydra because you are going to be getting free meteors inside of your ultimate window. However, it is a little bit more complicated because Cerydra's buff only would affect the skills that have this peerage buff on it. So it would be the free skill, quote unquote, then the regular skill that it copied, and then everything else will not be covered under the Cerydra buff, which, to be fair, it's only the 72% crit damage that we're not getting, but everything else we are going to get. But what I did is I calculated what Feixiao's ultimate window would look like, and then I took away 28% of the ones that were not affected by Cerydra's buffs, and that is this portion on the top right here. This would be 1 meteor skill, 1 verdict skill, the ultimate basics, which is the just doing the basic 4 times because you still get the 4 basics in, and then the ult explosion, which is not affected by Cerydra's buff. Now, the biggest difference is that you're going to get 4 meteorites that are in fact affected by Cerydra's buff. So you get a total of 5 meteorites, and 4 of them are going to be affected by Cerydra, which is a great chunk of damage. As you can see, just in the meteorites alone, you already have 3.8 million. When we add everything up and we go over here, you get to a maximum of almost 7 million damage compared to the 4.2 million damage. That is a crazy, crazy damage increase. And remember, guys, this is per damage window for Feixiao. So yeah, the difference is very substantial when you are comparing Robin and Cerydra. So needless to say that Cerydra is going to very much buff our boy Feixiao as of today, right? But like iSUMMON, I thought you said that Cerydra was mid. How come? Well, the thing is that Cerydra has a very, very specific kit that is tailor-made to be working with Feixiao, and the only other character that I can see right now off the top of my head that can benefit semi-fully from it is Anaxa, and just because Anaxa just fires off free skills anyway, so you're just going to get double free skills, which is kind of insane. But aside from those two characters, I don't think anybody else would benefit more from having Cerydra than another harmony that's already out. Especially now, since in their skill, in Cerydra's skill, they added this portion that when Cerydra is in a departed state, you get a 10% rest pen. The skill that is affected by the free skill essentially is going to get a 10% rest pen. But the condition is that Cerydra has to be in the departed state. Well, as it turns out, the only character that can actually fulfill this right here is Feixiao. Feixiao is the only character that can inflict departed on its own teammates. For example, if we go over here to characters and we click on Feixiao and we go down to his ultimate, we will see that he is going to depart his teammates, right? Within the territory, other teammates depart and cannot take action. This is the only character that has it. Now you may be thinking, well, Acheron and Feixiao have like the same thing. Are those considered departed? Well, if we go over here and look for Acheron, for example, because Feixiao is not going to use his skill, right? So we're not going to count Feixiao. Let's go to Acheron. When Acheron ults, it doesn't say anything about departed. It just says sequentially unleashes Rainblade, Stygian's Resurge, whatever. No departed mention whatsoever. So unless in the game code, while Acheron is on her ultimate, it does count as a departed, then you'll be taking advantage of the 20% or the 10% rest pen. But at the end of the day, is only 10% rest pen. Which is another point of contention, in my opinion, that makes her a little bit mid. Even though her damage increase for Feixiao specifically is very, very high, you're only getting 10% rest pen. Tribi has 24% rest pen just for free. Ruanmei has it for free. So, I mean, this should be at least 20. You know what I'm saying? This should be at least 20, especially because it has a condition and it's only for one skill. Like, it's not like it's active all the time. So this is what I'm saying when I say Cerydra is extremely niche. And that makes her mid, in my opinion, because she only fits the bill for at least one character that can use her to her maximum ability. And then the other characters are characters that are going to want to spam skills. And there's only one other character that can effectively do that, which is Anaxa. Anaxa effectively is going to get 4 skills with increased crit damage, but Anaxa already gives himself a lot of crit damage. He gives himself 140. So with this, it's going to be 210 crit damage, which you could argue is going to be over investing in crit damage. Now, another thing that is very, very confusing with me is that not only Cerydra's buffs are kind of mid, all things considered, right? If you were to stack her up against every single other harmony in the game and consider where each buffs are going to be useful, the fact that Cerydra's buffs only affects one skill at a time, and you have to stack it up again and do it, and it only affects one skill at a time, only one character on a very specific niche. All the other harmonies are doing multiple things. Even Sparkle, that's technically a single target buffer, her ultimate affects everybody else because everybody's using skill points. So even her has a little bit of utility when it comes to that. And not to mention the skill point usage. It doesn't stop there with Cerydra, right? Cerydra also has 100% crit rate on herself, so she wants to deal damage as well. She also wants you to build attack, so she is kind of wanting to be a hybrid sub DPS to the main DPS in Feixiao, or whoever it is that's going to be the main DPS. The problem with that is that our multipliers are ass. Her multipliers are really bad. She has her basic, which is the one you're going to use the most, is 100. Right, so it's really standard, only hits one target with 100. Her ultimate, it's 240, and it hits everybody one time, and that's it, just 240 of Cerydra's attack. And then even though she has kind of decently high base attack, it's not the highest basic attack when it comes to harmonies either. So she's trying to be stretched out too thin, and she's not going to be able to fulfill pretty much any of the things that she wants to do other than being a Feixiao slave, I guess. So right now, Cerydra is looking kind of rough, in my opinion, for the purposes of being a Feixiao ultra buffer, kind of like the Zhao Show to the Acheron, if you will. She is looking pretty nice because she is going to provide a lot of damage amplification for Feixiao and for characters like Anaxa. But for a multi-purpose general buffer, I don't think she's going to fit the bill. She's not going to bring quite the same impact as other harmony characters that have released in the past, and whenever they drop, they're instantly pretty much regarded as the best harmony in the game. Kind of like Tribi, who was when she dropped, Sunday when he dropped, Robin, so on and so forth. The only one that didn't fit that bill was Sparkle, but Sparkle was never meant to be that. Sparkle was just meant to be that super niche SP generating character, and she did that really well. And I think this is what Cerydra is going to be. Cerydra is, in my opinion, the Sparkle of the 3.x update. So she is going to be a nice pickup for people that are going to maximize their Feixiao. And to compare to 2.x, she is the Sparkle to the Dan Heng and Bibi Lune of 2.x. So I don't necessarily think she's going to be worth picking up for a lot of people, because Finon, as he is right now with Sunday and Bronya and Robin, he is going to clear content for the foreseeable future. So to me, she's looking more of a rerun pickup character if they don't change it, because she is doing too much. In my opinion, they should just double down on the buffing, make her buffs last a little bit longer, even though Finon doesn't need it, but don't make her just a Finon slave buffer. I don't want that. Like, remove all this damage nonsense that she has, because she's a support. She's not trying to deal a lot of damage. I'd rather her giga buff 1 DPS than her dealing 100k in one ult. I really rather not have that and just have a really, really strong buffer, in my opinion, for a single target character. Now, obviously, all of this is subject to change. We will see how she ends up, but if she stays how she is or similar to how she is going to be a kind of a picker up on the rerun. Or if Finon is your main DPS on your account and you want to maximize your Finon, then pick Cerydra up. But as it stands, I cannot in good conscience recommend anybody like plan a saving for her. She's definitely not a must pull, not even close. She's in a very, very wonky situation. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I will make a Hysolence video as well, because I think she is an incredible character. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, guys. See ya.